Welcome to the SoberQ podcast.
Hi, my name's Emma and I'm an alcoholic. And the question I've been asked is, how did we try to hide our alcoholic drinking? I tried to hide my drinking in all the really typical ways. I tried to hide my drinking when I was young because I was scared of the consequences, and I fibbed and I lied and I cleaned up the wreckage. And very early, I started keeping secrets about the things that had happened when I drank. And what that did over time for me is that it just kept me more and more separate from my peers. Even at that really young drinking age, I was separate from my peers because I had to hide what happened when I drank. And the way that I felt after I drank, I really had to hide. And that kind of spread all through my life. The way that I hid my drinking and the consequences of my drinking, it infiltrated everything that I did through the whole of my drinking career. I had to hide the way that I felt and what made me drink in every area of my life. And, as it turned out, by the end of my drinking career, I really had to isolate because I couldn't remember what I had told different people in my life about the way that my life was going. I had to pretend all the time that I wasn't struggling. And eventually, when that became too hard, the easiest thing for me to do was to isolate. And there were other ways, too, that I tried to hide my drinking. And one of the most damaging ones was that I fabricated reasons for me to be as unmanageable and as powerless and chaotic as I felt, So I needed to fabricate reasons that my life was so disorganized and that I couldn't show up to things and that I couldn't present for job interviews or important occasions or family functions. I had to come up with a reason that I couldn't show up for those. And my solution to that problem was to turn to things like anxiety and depression. And while those things might have been true in some sense in my life, I milked them for every cent that they were worth. And I exaggerated the effects of them on my life to doctors, to family members. And it was only with the hindsight of working the steps that I began to see just how terrifying and damaging that was for the people around me, to believe that I was constantly in a state of medical crisis, because I would rather have them believe that than admit that drinking and other substances were at the root of my problems. I think that as time went on, hiding my drinking, the unmanageability that created and the isolation that came as a result of just not wanting to hide it anymore, really led me into the rooms of AA. I was so lonely because I couldn't let anyone see what my life had become. And I have no doubt that was part of the reason that I walked into the rooms of AA and that I stayed in AA for as long as I have. The solution to that feeling of dread, those secrets and that dark feeling of having this other life that I constantly kept to myself, the way out of that for me has been the steps. It's been doing steps 4 and 5 with a sponsor. It's been sharing in meetings. It's been learning what's appropriate to tell from the floor and what's not. And it's been truly life-changing. Letting go of those secrets has been the thing that's made me feel like a person amongst people. And I just am forever grateful for that. And I learned that all in AA with my sobriety. So thanks for having me to share, and good luck.
If you would like to share your experience on a recovery question, visit the SoberQ podcast website at soberq.com. Thanks for listening.